What's up guys, my name is Justin, and we're bringing you Douchebag of the Week in video form once again. But this time we wanted to do it a little bit differently, so I'm going to be taking some things that made news over the past week or so and sort of throwing my 2 cents in on those as well. So with that being said, let's get down to the first story, which comes to us from that whole NSA spying, don't listen to my phone calls controversy. Now apparently, Richard Leon, who is a U.S. District Court judge, has ruled that this surveillance program might be unconstitutional. No, there's no way that's possible. Now, he made this ruling in response to a lawsuit that was filed against the NSA by conservative activist Larry Klayman. Now, Leon says that this could be the first of many rulings against the NSA surveillance program. Now, the argument here is that it defies our Fourth Amendment right to protection from unlawful searches and seizures. Now, Edward Snowden is praising this ruling and surprising no one. Personally, it saddens me that it took so long for the NSA to really be challenged on this issue. I mean, we've seen a lot of people in the media go back and forth, and poor Jay Carney has been the media's punching bag since forever. But nobody's really stood up and said, hey, this is wrong, we need to make the NSA pay for this. I mean, hell, Eric Clapper literally sat in a Senate hearing and just straight up lied about the NSA's surveillance programs. And then when they were leaked a couple months later, the punishment that he got for lying under oath was nothing. Literally nothing. They just let him get away with it. At the very least, that's perjury or contempt of court. I mean, come on. Now, we'll keep an eye on the story as it unfolds, but it's very likely that this could go all the way to the Supreme Court, where the NSA would face some real punishment for violating the Fourth Amendment. Now, moving on, I want to talk about something that I've personally been following for quite some time now, and that's this growing crack in the Republican Party. Now, last week, Paul Ryan and Patty Murray finally reached an agreement on the budget for the U.S. government. Yay, we're not completely stupid! Now, the deal has already passed through the House, and it's expected to pass through the Senate later this week and be signed by President Obama. Now, apparently, Tea Party groups didn't like the deal, and some of them were even criticizing it before it was released. They were literally criticizing the idea of negotiating a deal in the first place. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Surprisingly, House Speaker John Boehner he's kind of giving the Tea Party the finger. He's saying that they've lost all credibility. And I found this interesting because you have Boehner, who was so adamant before and during the government shutdown that the Tea Party engineered, and now afterwards he's kind of done a 180 because congressional Republicans got squat for that shutdown, and he knows that. So I think the shutdown was the final straw for Boehner. He's seeing that the Tea Party is becoming less and less favorable in American politics, and he doesn't want to be attached at the hip to them when they hit rock bottom. Now, this is kind of hopeful to me because I think John Boehner has finally got his head out of his ass, and he's realized that being associated with the Tea Party, which had a 70% disapproval rating after the government shutdown, is probably not a good idea. Now, even better, it looks like he's not alone because Paul Ryan, Mitt Romney's vice president in shining armor, has come out in support of Boehner. Now, Ryan, along with a lot of other moderate Republicans, have said that we need to start having more constructive conversations in Congress, and that the American people are sick of the brinkmanship we've been seeing over the past couple of years. Now, I don't want to jump the gun, but this could be the beginning of the end for the hold that the Tea Party has on the Republican caucus. But that's enough of that. It's time for Douchebag of the Week. Now, this one comes to us from Michigan, where Dave Agina? Well, whatever his last name is, he's made some pretty assholish comments in the past couple weeks. Now, you might not know Dave, but he's a former Michigan state representative, and he's a member of the National Republican Committee. Now, Dave was at a holiday party last week where he reportedly told attendees that basically the reason he opposes same-sex marriage is because gay people just want to get married so they can have medical benefits because they're all dying of AIDS. Because that's not homophobic at all. Now, Dave said, and I quote, "They want free medical benefits because they're dying between 30 and 44 years old." And he's also said in the past that he disagrees with homosexuality because it's an unhealthy lifestyle that often ends in early death. He even tried to pass legislation in 2011 that would cut funding for Michigan universities that offer domestic partner benefits to students and employees. I don't even... What? How does that much homophobia exist inside one person without them exploding? Now look, I get opposing same-sex marriage, and you're obviously a fairly conservative guy based on your position in the RNC. But you're clinging to this ridiculous stereotype, which hit its peak in the 80s, and you're trying to use it to justify policies in 2013? Do you really think that's going to get you anywhere? Now, my biggest problem here is that fear-mongering is poisoning the debate on same-sex marriage in this country. People are making these ridiculous claims and trying to create a false image of this country in the event that same-sex marriage is legalized, so that those who are on the fence about the issue are scared into opposing marriage equality because they've been told that gay people are going to take over America and eat babies or something. Now, Dave is one of those people contributing to this fear-mongering. Whether it's intentional or out of ignorance, it's hurting the discussion and it needs to stop. So the moral is, don't be a douchebag, Dave. Well, there's our douchebag of the week. Now, I thought I'd end on a somewhat lighter note, so our final story is one that you've probably heard about in the past week. So, President Obama and the First Lady traveled to South Africa last week to attend the memorial service for Nelson Mandela. And while they were there, Obama was spotted taking a selfie with the British and Danish prime ministers. Now, this probably wouldn't have even been news if it weren't for Michelle Obama's face after the selfie was taken. Now, if you haven't seen that, it looks like this. Now, I know a lot of people are getting upset about this, but it's just kind of humorous to me. I mean, Michelle's face is one of absolute contempt, and I can't help but laugh at that. Now, at first, I was actually kind of offended that Obama would take a selfie at a memorial service, but many people have defended him, saying that the move was more happy than mourning, and people were celebrating Mandela's life in a positive way. So, with that information, a selfie? Not that big of a deal, I guess. Also, I feel like when a South African hero passes away, our biggest concern should not be how long our president's going to be in the doghouse because his wife is giving him the shifty eye. But still, it's kind of funny. So that's it for this video. If you want information on anything I talked about, I'll have links to that in the description down below. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus for more updates in the future. I'm Justin, reminding you to keep common sense alive, don't be a douchebag, and I'll see you next time.